So we've heard this morning that public sector borrowing is at almost an all-time high, and really, my thoughts are what does this say for the 10 years of austerity that we had pre-pandemic and pre-Boris? Obviously, things have changed. Interest rates have gone up. We had a lot of spending caused by COVID. But really, has all that pre-spending done any more than cut the public services that we have to the bone? And other news this morning was that overstretched and privatised during those 10 years, probation services managed to lose track of a murderer. I also heard yesterday when I went to see a client who's 87 that she had to wait over 6 hours before the strikes in December for an ambulance when she fell on the pavement and broke her arm before Christmas. There is, I'm afraid, an awful lot to the theory that the only way to actually cut the deficit is not to focus on stopping money going out, but on getting more in. And that goes back to something we heard a lot of last year, the need for growth, to grow the economy. Now, historically, that worked pretty well for a while in both the late 60s and late 90s, times of Labour governments, yes, and also the days of Swinging London and Britpop. Now, neither, unfortunately, had happy endings. Due in both cases, I'd say, to poor regulation. In the first case of the unions, and in the 90s, as we remember, of the banks. Someone, somewhere in government, needs to both learn the lessons of history and to look north to Scandinavia, perhaps even east to Holland, to countries where, yes, it's cold, and in the case of places like Iceland and Finland and Sweden, a glass of wine costs 30 quid, but people are, according to most of the surveys, happy. Finland is apparently the happiest place to live and has been for the last 3 to 4 years. Most things, including healthcare, seem to work there, and, very importantly, they have a far more consistent track record of success in the Eurovision Song Contest than we ever have. So for me, a triple whammy, a phrase originating on a Conservative poster in the 1990s.